Hello and welcome back to everybody on the Football Zone and to a weekend preview previewing Premier League and Championship action and FA Cup action this week. And yeah, starting off with Arsenal v Southampton in the Premier League. And yeah, for Arsenal, after 2 defeats on the trot, 2 bottles from 2-0 up, this is kind of the perfect game for them. Really to get back into the form of things. Playing at the bottom of the league, playing against bottom of the league at home, yeah, you kind of fancy them to get a win. Southampton in such poor form, you kind of feel like they're already down. I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal and comfortable 1 at that. Moving on into Fulham as they take on Leeds at Craven Cottage in the 12:30 game. And yeah, Fulham coming into this one off the back of that 3-1 win against Everton. And yeah, after a really poor run of form before that, that's a big win for them. But for Leeds, they're going to be under massive pressure. The last 2 games have been 11-2 on aggregate, 5-1 and 6-1 loss, so they need to respond. But home to Fulham side look rejuvenated, the likes of Harry Wilson back in form. I think they're going to be feeling confident coming into this one. I'm going to say it'll be a 2-0 Fulham win. Moving on then to Brentford as they take on Aston Villa at the Brentford Community Stadium. Brentford's form kind of just dipping a bit, winless in 5, lost the last 3, taking on a Villa side who are obviously flying at the moment, 5 wins on the trot now. Unbeaten since the 18th of February against Arsenal. So yeah, they are absolutely flying, really hunting down a European spot. With Brentford not being the greatest form at the moment, I'm going to say they're going to pick up another win here. It's going to be 2-1. Moving on into Crystal Palace as they take on Everton. And what impact Roy Hodgson has had since he came in at Palace. 3 wins on the trot, and Everton lost the last 2, winless in 4. All of a sudden only ends inside of the Premier League status for next season on goal difference. So yeah, they need some points really desperately, and it's going to be another tough game for them here. But I'm going to say Palace will get the win. To be honest, I think they're just on such a roll, playing at home as well. I'm going to say it'll be 1-0. Moving on into Leicester as they take on Wolves at the King Power Stadium, and Leicester. 4 losses on the trot. Dean Smith, obviously, first match was against Man City. That was always going to be a tough one. But this is kind of a game where you feel like he has to pick up a result. Taking on a Wolves side, though, that has picked up 2 wins in the last 2 games. Really starting to get going on the Julian Lopetegui. It's going to be an interesting one. But I feel like Leicester at home will get the job done. I'm going to say it'll be a 2-0 win. Moving on then to Liverpool as they take on Nottingham Forest at Anfield. And Liverpool, coming into this one, off the back of that 6-1 win against Leeds and that second half where they played so well against Arsenal, you do feel like maybe we're starting to see Liverpool at their best kind of come through a bit maybe, which is obviously great news for them. Taking on a Forest side which is really struggling at the moment. Especially being at Anfield, I can only really see this one going one way, to be honest. That's quite a pretty comfortable win for Liverpool. 2-0 Paul for me. Moving on into Bournemouth as they take on West Ham at the Vitality. Bournemouth coming into this one off the back of 2 wins on the trot, 3 wins in the last 4. Just an incredible run of form really, and Gary O'Neill, what a job he's done there. But for West Ham, unbeaten in 4 in all competitions, not out of danger yet, but 4 points clean. You'd say they're in a pretty good team to do it with a game in hand as well. But Bournemouth's form is so good at the moment. At home, I can see them picking up the win. Tiredness for West Ham while playing in midweek. But moving on into Newcastle, as they face Tottenham at St James's Park. Newcastle coming into this one off the back of that 3-0 loss to Villa. After 4 wins on the trot, though, they're going to need to bounce back. But Tottenham losing going to Bournemouth for the last one, so both these teams have something to prove. And you do feel like it probably is between these 2 sides to get that last spots in the Champions League, but you never know. But 2 at home. Tottenham is just such a mess at the moment. I'm going to say 2-1 to Newcastle. But moving on into the 2 FA Cup games, and on Saturday we've got Manchester City taking on Sheffield United. Sheffield United pretty much secure promotion back to the Premier League now automatically, so they can really go all out for this. Man City, obviously tiredness will be a factor in this one, but I think for Sheffield United this should be a great occasion for them and their fans. But for Man City, it's a game that you probably expect them to win. Sheffield United, obviously you can have no expectations for them, but I'm going to say Man City will pick up a very comfortable 4-1 win. Moving on into Manchester United as they take on Brighton. No disrespect for Sheffield United, but you probably expect this to be the closer semi-final. Brighton on such a roll at the moment, aren't they? So impressive, winning at Stamford Bridge last time out. And Manchester United coming into it, obviously back to Sevilla. That was such a disappointing performance. Now we're looking to bounce back from that ASAP. really, and they need to. But I think it'll be such a close game in the way Man U and Brighton are playing at the moment. But I'm going to say Manchester United will nick it on pens. Moving on then to Birmingham as they take on Blackpool on Saturday in the Championship. And yeah, this is an interesting game. Obviously, Blackpool losing to West Brom last night was a disappointing result for them. Because, yeah, I mean, they could be in a much better position now in the table. Really could have been pressing on it. But with results going the way they were, kind of already down now. Birmingham already secured their championship status next season. A win at home to continue momentum into next season. I can see happening here. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on then to Bristol City as they take on Rotherham at Ashton Gate. And, yeah, Bristol City not on the greatest run of form at the moment. Lost their last two. And yeah, before that, only one win in the last 5. But taking on a Rotherham side with only one win in the last 5. But Rotherham, what are they? They are 3 points above Reading, but got a game in hand as well. So, you know, they're not out of it, but they're in a very good position to stay out, you'd have thought. But I'm going to say Bristol City at home here may well get the win. I'm going to say 2-0. But, yeah, moving on into Burnley as they take QPR. And Burnley, yeah, obviously they've only drawn the last 2 games, but, you know, can still seal the title win here. And, yeah, taking on a QPR side who did get a draw against Norwich, which was a good draw. But, yeah, Norwich aren't exactly the greatest team in the world at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to say Burnley will get the win here, especially being at home. They'll want to secure the title. QPR still right amidst the relegation battle, but yeah, they're not a great side at the moment. And I think Burnley will be at their best here and will dispatch them. I'm going to say it will be a 4-0 Burnley win. Moving on into Coventry as they take on Reading at the Coventry Building Society Arena. And yeah, Coventry coming into this one, obviously looking to really get a win to boost their playoff hopes, but they've only won 1 of the last 5. Reading, they seem to be draw specialists at the moment. Coventry seems to be a bit of a draw specialist at the moment as well. But both of these teams need points for their respective causes. Reading are fighting for their lives at the moment under Noel Hunt. I'm going to say it'll be a 2-1 Cov win. I think they'll just have a nash. Moving on then to Hull as they take on Watford at the KCOM, sorry. And yeah, Hull coming into this one off the back of that 3-1 loss to Borough. And yeah, their championship status is already secured for next season, can't go up or down. Taking on a Watford side, and it's increasingly difficult to see them getting into the playoffs now. Yeah, 5 points off. They've only got 3 games left. Blackpool has a game in hand, so it's very much a mid-table clash here. And I'm going to say the score will be a draw 1-1 to kind of show that. But moving on into Wigan as they host Millwall at the DW. And yeah, for Wigan, unfortunately, it seems very likely that this will be the weekend where their relegation to League One is confirmed, even despite a midweek win. But for Millwall, though, they need to bounce back desperately with a result against Wigan here to really boost their playoff hopes, because otherwise they are going to struggle against Spurs, you'd have thought. So I'm going to say 1-0 to Millwall here. Moving on into Cardiff as they take on Stoke, and Cardiff obviously picking up a huge win last time out against Watford to really boost their playoff hopes, but Stoke in awful form at the moment. Yeah, and Cardiff obviously got a lot to play for. Stoke, let's face it, not as much to play for. So yeah, I think Cardiff will be definitely targeting a win here, and I think it will be a win that they'll get. I'm going to say it will be 1-0 to Cardiff to really make their championship status for next season a lot more secure. But moving on into Norwich as they take on Swansea, and Norwich with that draw against QPR last time out, they're only 2 points outside the playoffs, have played a game more though than Blackburn and West Brom. So yeah, you'd say that they're probably struggling at the moment to get in there. Swansea looking to finish the season strong, but yeah, they're mid-table, you'd say here definitely. So I'm going to say it will be a Norwich win here. I think they'll have enough to get past Swansea, and obviously it's probably a game more important to them. But moving on into Preston as they take on Blackburn at Deepdale, and Preston coming into this one off the back of 2 losses on the trot, but before that they have 3 wins. But yeah, their playoff hopes 2 points off. It's hard to get in with teams around them, especially having a game in hand. So yeah, it would be interesting to see which way it goes. Could go either way, you feel. But yeah, Blackburn need points, Preston need points. So yeah, who knows? I'm going to say it'll be a 1-1 draw here. But yeah, it's one that you feel could go either way, with no team in the playoffs kind of struggling at the moment. But moving on into West Brom as they take on Sunderland. This is another big game in the race for playoffs. West Brom 1 point ahead of Sunderland, but do have a crucial game in hand here. But yeah, it's just like if Sunderland win here, then they're back in front of West Brom. So, you know, it's such a big game for both these sides if they really want to finish in the playoffs, which obviously they do. But West Brom having home advantage is obviously good for them, and I think at home they'll make that count. I'm going to say 2-0 to WBA. But moving on into Luton as they take on Middlesbrough at Kenilworth Road. And obviously, looking at this, you think this would be a big game, but to be honest, I don't really think it is. Neither of these teams is really going to gain automatic promotion, it's their playoff spaces are pretty much secure. So both these teams kind of preparing for the playoffs now. That's all they can do really. And I'm going to say at home Luton will pick up the win, but it's a game that could go either way. And maybe we'll see a few players rested here, or is it too early for that? Who knows? But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe, and thoughts, comments down below. If you want to share for daily football news and subscribe to the channel, it's going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.